Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about the Love is Blind Season 2 reunion. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. But before we begin, I would like for everyone to check out my website, lavidarosastyle.com, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now. The link is down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. I debated about whether or not I wanted to make this video because the reunion, you know, at the reunion, everybody wants to be a goody two-shoes. Everybody wants to be on their best behavior, okay? Everybody wants to act like the season didn't happen the way that it happened. No one wants to address the behavior until you show that beautiful bean footage, rewind the tape, and show them exactly how they behaved. And then they want to get all solemn and apologetic. It just makes me question everyone's intentions. Like, everybody was jumping on Shake for his intentions, and we gonna get on him too. I can't stand him, but he had a point. I was so glad that he was there to point out the fakeness and call people out, because the hosts weren't doing it. The hosts were not holding them to task. And you know, some people were upset when I said that I didn't like, forgot their names. People were upset when I said they shouldn't be the host, but this is why, because they're not the type of people that are going to hold people's feet to the fire. If they see someone uncomfortable, they're going to tiptoe around their feelings. Oh, well, we know that you're uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable watching it too. So look, we're not going to have to talk about it for too much long. No. Now, if you poke her enough and get her mad, she'll go off. But we'll get to that too. We need somebody who's going to call these people out. Look at your behavior. Let's hold a mirror up to it and look. Take accountability for it, apologize for it. We're not saying you have to get crucified for the behavior. Honestly, with a lot of these reality shows, with the reunion, this is your time for redemption. You can actually turn the whole narrative around at the end if you show a little bit of humility, if you come to it in a very honest way, vulnerable way, and say, you know what, in that moment, I was dead wrong. I should have never done that. But I feel like the way y'all tried to brush everything under the rug and really gaslight the audience, I was disgusted. And by the end of this reunion, I didn't like majority of the people on that stage. I just have to be honest. If you exemplified poor behavior during the season, you're going to have to answer for it at the reunion, or you should have to answer for it at the reunion. That is what the reunion is for. Have y'all not seen The Housewives? Come on, you came on TV. You decided to get on national TV with the cameras running and show your entire behind. Didn't nobody hold a gun to your head and make you do that? And now when we get to the reunion, we have to coddle everybody's feelings because they can't handle how they grown behinds act on TV. No. So, since I mentioned Shake, we're going to get on Shake. First and foremost, before I even start, okay? I saw this picture on Twitter with Shayna on Shake's shoulders. And I thought that was the ultimate symbol of disrespect towards Deep T. One, because Shake, as if you didn't clown this woman enough, as if you didn't berate her weight, as if you didn't talk about how she looked like your auntie, as if you didn't discuss this woman's looks with everybody else on the cast before you could even address it with her, how you felt. Drug this woman the entire season all the way to the wedding day, knowing you did not want to be with her simply because you wanted airtime. As if all of that was not bad enough, you had to put this petite white woman with blonde hair on your shoulders to show, yes, this is my type. It's like that one last twist of the knife. You really are struggling with you having insecurities about being chubby when you were a little boy. You seem to also be struggling with self-image when it comes to you being a brown man, an Indian man, a person of color, whatever you want to call it. And instead of really looking inside yourself and seeing those things for what they are, you took all of that out on Deep T. And I don't even know if you probably don't see it that way. You probably never will, because you're one of those people that when people call you out, you think you're right. You don't want to hear it. But that is literally what you did. I was disgusted when I saw that picture. Even for you, Shayna, for you to get up on his shoulders. Are you not friends with Deep T? I thought y'all were cool. Deep T, I hope you know that's not your friend. For her to even entertain this man, let alone take a picture up on his shoulders. And you also have this thing where you like to compete with women. So a part of me feels like it's like you just want to feel like you was one up another woman. Even if it's your friend, you need to examine yourselves, because this behavior is not normal. When the show first started, he was talking about, you know, he was concerned about how he would be edited. You gave them everything they needed. You knew that this was going to give you airtime, regardless of whether it made you look bad or not. You knew. You're not stupid, Shake. The way that you pointed out everyone else's issues showed me you're not dumb at all. And that's why don't nobody respect you, because you pointed it out with everyone else, but you couldn't even be honest when it came to yourself. You really could have left Deep T alone at their honeymoon when you realized that you were not attracted to her anymore. When you first said that, that should have been your cue. Look, I'm not finna string this woman along. I'm not finna play with her feelings. But you kept going along with it because you wanted to stay on TV. See, that's why you pointed it out so well with Shayna, because that's what you did. So then he claimed the show isn't about finding a wife, but finding love. Did you not read the description of the show? Did you not watch I'm not finna play these games with you, because he was gaslighting too. So they rolled back the footage of how he spoke about Deep T behind her back, and I just felt so bad for her the entire time. You could tell Deep T also struggles with her own body image issues, and I just wish the best for her. I hope that she works through them. Her even accepting his proposal showed me she had low self-esteem, because no other woman was willing to even talk to Shake after the first time. You know what I'm saying? Not many people were willing to even have conversations with him. So the fact that y'all got to the point where, I know y'all bonded on culture, but the fact that you even got to the point where you said yes to his proposal says a lot about the men that you choose. And I really hope that you use this as an opportunity to learn from it, because if not, you'll keep choosing men who don't value you. One of the craziest parts is she said everyone on the cast told her that she shouldn't marry him. And shout out to them for that. I respect them for actually, you know, telling her that. They did have her back this reunion and kept her lifted up and talked about how great of a person she was, how beautiful she was. So they played everything that he said about the women and Deep T and everything. And, you know, it's crazy because they said that was actually like a nice version of what he said. What he said was actually much worse and unedited. And I was like, dang, well, what did you say? I look at the show as love is blurry and just like harping on Wade and how love can't truly be blind. If that's how you felt, you should have never came on this show. You are on the wrong show. And that's where one of the hosts really got it right. You are on the wrong show. You should have went on The Bachelorette, Love Island, one of those vapid shows that focus on mainly on looks. But you know what? You wouldn't have been casted for that show. See, you focus so much on looks where you couldn't even compete in that type of environment. How dare you? He's another one that has that Kevin Samuels mentality. Like, what do you bring to the table when you can't even match it? He kept talking about what he was attracted to, and then somehow he said he was only attracted to the host. And it's crazy because she went off on him. She really did. She got him together. I ain't gonna lie. She really did, because I feel like she really hit a nerve with the POC solidarity, you know, that they have with each other, not with the black people, with each other. But anyway, he hit a nerve when it came to that. And so she did snap on him, and he was like, well, I will only be attracted to her. And Nick Lachey got him together too, but if that would have been anybody else, he low-key would have got hemmed up for objectifying his wife. I was just like, how do you even have the nerve to say that in front of her husband sitting right there? Like, I could not believe that. Nick Lachey got him together in the best, you know, professional way he could. So I respect that. So let me get Nick and Danielle out of the way. They were just there. He had his messy moments. He called out Shake, you know. He said what he had to say. He's very messy, though. I really wish they would have called that out. He's messy. That moment at the beach should have been talked about, okay, because that was very messy. And two, how come they didn't show any of Danielle's moments of acting a fool? This is what I didn't like about the reunion. We are here to talk about it all. They had things to talk about, but y'all only gave them enough time to redeem themselves, but they didn't actually address what was really happening. Danielle got the best Look at the reunion. Look, this is Netflix. We just binged all the episodes. We saw her acting the fool. Why does she not have to sit through these uncomfortable moments where she has to watch back her terrible behavior? Why does she get away with that? That's not fair. They did mention that they are in couples therapy and hopefully in individual therapy as well, because she did move in with him. It turns out that he be dancing on the island, child. So look, I wish them well. They married now. I hope they can work it out. I hope they will. I just don't have much faith in it lasting, but congratulations. So we're just gonna put all of Shane, Natalie, Shayna, and Kyle together because they had like this love rectangle going on. Shane could not be still. He had some really crazy eye movements and head jerking, and it just came off like he was tweaking. Okay, I've been seeing what a lot of people been saying online, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. But Shane in general acts like a child anyway, and he has like no emotional intelligence whatsoever. So his physical behavior was matching how he acts. So it's not like it was that out of the ordinary for, you know, a frat boy Beetlejuice. But still, it was just jarring to see everybody else sitting there like an adult chilling, and he's, what is going on? Be still. I was a little concerned about the people around him. So they brought up the whole situation about when he came in the room and mistook Natalie for Shayna. And, you know, because he acted a fool about that. He went off on her. So he ended up apologizing for that. And then they started talking about how, you know, he made Natalie his girlfriend. And then here comes Shayna. He was flirting with Shayna afterwards. And even that last conversation that they had where Shayna accepted that engagement ring and was talking to Shane afterwards, they were very shady and trifling and had no business. He had no business proposing to somebody else. She had no business accepting anybody's proposal, acting the way that they were. It was very shady and they were very trifling. And I'm so glad that their marriages did not go through, because we saw your true colors. And I'm glad that they did too. Natalie said she felt betrayed by both of them because, you know, Natalie was living with Shayna. I feel like Shayna was doing a lot of this stuff behind her back and like saying stuff under her breath and like looking at her across the room grinning. But in Natalie's face, she was pretending to be her friend. And, you know, obviously Shane was supposed to be her man. She had every right to feel betrayed. And she called out Shayna for lying about her feelings about Shane. Now, Natalie, what you really should have been mad about was on that beach when Shayna was over there clowning you and saying all this nasty stuff about you and how y'all relationship was fake and everything else. You should have been mad at Shane for sitting there looking stupid instead of checking her. Because why was he sitting there letting her say all this crazy stuff about his fiance without checking this woman? Shayna ended up apologizing because she looked bad, and she ended up playing herself because she didn't win whatever game she had in her mind against Natalie. But she knew what she was doing. Like, I don't think that Shayna really feels bad about anything she did. Like, even the way she was sitting up at the reunion, she was just like every 2 seconds. Like, Shayna really is like female Shake, except she knows better than to say a lot of this stuff out loud. You know, she's gonna be passive aggressive. She's gonna say what she knows she needs to say in the moment to look like a decent human being, but she didn't mean none of that. And then here comes Kyle. He called her out for using him as a backup, basically just to stay on the show. And, you know, once again, she gaslights the situation. She was confused and felt manipulated because he gave her his mother's ring. And I don't know, like, if you like somebody and you really care about them and you're really like invested in this experience, I think giving someone your mother's ring is just like a really sweet, sentimental token of affection. That's like something that's very heartfelt that men do to show their devotion to the woman that they love. Now, do I believe Kyle was... Do I really believe that Kyle was sincere A part of, like, I believed he was until I saw this reunion. Then I'm like, I don't know. Kyle seemed like he was trying to get a little bit of screen time himself, even though he had every right to confront her because what he said about her was true. It's just the way he was coming off was a little bit, I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about Kyle. Like, Shake called her out for just wanting to be on the show. And even though he's right, it's like, you would know. And then everybody was just acting so appalled that he even suggested that she just wanted to be on the show. No, that is not why. And it just made me think, a lot of y'all did it just to be on the show. Because why are y'all being so defensive against what he's saying against Shayna? Why do y'all even care? So then they had a conversation about Shane blowing up on Natalie the day before their wedding. You know, basically, she confronted him about, we're just going to say drinking. When she confronted him about that, he said, I hate you and you're the worst thing for me, right? And even at the wedding, when she said that she don't want to marry you, you told her, I meant everything that I said. And now at the reunion, he's trying to deny it and say he was just in the heat of the moment. You meant what you said. And she just became so emotional, and she was even taking up for him. And I was like, Natalie, do not take up for this man. Like, she was like, I know he didn't mean it like that. He's apologized so much. And it's like, girl, yeah, he apologized, but he apologized because he know he looked bad. That's why he apologized. Just because someone apologizes, that doesn't mean that they should be able to have access to you again in that way. He shouldn't be making you feel like this. But she did say that when he did that, it was a wake-up call to her, and it showed her that, you know, they had a lot of issues. Here comes Shane flipping it on her like she made him say it. And this woman is literally like crying and taking up for you and saying that you're not a bad guy and all this other stuff. And he's steady trying to throw her under the bus. And that's why I was like, Natalie, why are you trying to defend this man so hard? He do not care about you at all. He was like, well, she said and did stuff too. And it's like, well, say what she did or keep it on the playground. Okay? Like, if you're not going to say the things that she's done, why are you even bringing that up? Because I doubt whatever she said or did was that bad, because you would say anything at this moment to get the heat off you, because that's literally what you're trying to do. You act like you're trying to take accountability for everything, but if you're constantly saying, but she did this, and constantly pointing the finger over at her too, that cancels out any apology or accountability that you're trying to act like you're taking. Okay? Oh, she's just trying to act like it's just me. Actually, no, she wasn't. Actually, she was defending you. You're trying to beat an apology out of someone who's already remorseful. Like, is sobbing not good enough for you? And then you're like, well, everybody's trying to act like I'm the bad guy. Look at how you act. You're playing the villain very well, sir. You're not much better than Shake or Shayna in my eyes. Even though you tried to play that game on this reunion and the hosts were coddling you, you ain't fooling nobody, okay? That bubbly persona that you like to put on, like that friendly, oh, happy-go-lucky guy, that is not really you. And you showed your true colors. And then it was revealed that she gave this man another chance. And I'm like, no wonder she defended him, because she low-key still want him. And I'm like, girl, please get the shackles of this frat boy Beetlejuice up off you. Let him go. He is nobody's catch. And then they brought Shayna back into the conversation and asked, had they seen each other since filming? And he did not want to talk about it. He shut it down. No, I don't want to talk about it. See, before that, I would have thought, okay, well, maybe nothing happened. But you doing that made me think something did. You know, Shayna don't mind lying. She said, no, nothing happened. We haven't seen each other. No. I don't believe you. I wouldn't be shocked if something did happen, because why are you shutting that down so hard? Why are you so defensive about that? Okay, finally, let's talk about Ayanna, Jared, Salvador, and Mallory. So they played back the footage of Jared and Mallory's conversation. Disrespectful, trifling conversation, okay? And, look, I really can't imagine how Ayanna must have felt watching that back, or Salvador. I can't imagine how either one of them felt watching that back, because both of their partners lied to them about what happened. Period. They tried to act like it was nothing. It wasn't nothing. Both of y'all was trifling for how y'all conducted yourselves as engaged people. Mallory's face was twisted the entire time. She looked so uncomfortable, child. If she could go back in time, she would have chose Jared. You already know. Mallory low-key want a black man, period. Go find you one, girl. They ended up asking Ayanna how she felt about watching it over again, and they had never watched it together, so watching it there together, I'm sure it was very uncomfortable. Low-key, he would have had to take his arm off of me. Get off me. And a part of me feels like, had Ayanna known that, I wonder if she would have made the same decision to stay with Jared. She took the blame off Mallory for some reason. Well, I wasn't really mad at Mallory. Why? Mallory knew he was engaged. Mallory knows who you are. And what she did was disrespectful. No, yes, equal blame. I'm sorry. Now, I'm one of those people like, you shouldn't come for the woman. I'm not saying she should have went up and went off on Mallory. Address Jared mainly. Place blame where it belongs. It belonged with her too. Jared did apologize. The reason why I'm not here for the apology is because Sal called both of them out for being disrespectful, and he called Jared out specifically for lying to him when he asked him about it. And Jared tried to act like, well, it was a joke. That was not a joke. Nothing y'all were doing over there was a joke. It was dead serious. When you were talking about that ring, that was not funny, or it was not a joke. And see, this is why I look at Jared as a liar, because if you sit up there and lie that easy, and then we're looking at it with our own eyes, and you're trying to gaslight and say it was a joke, that alone shows me how deceitful that man could be. Mallory barely wanted to take accountability. Oh, I'm so nervous. Oh, I was drinking. Apologize, but she really didn't want to own it. Girl, please, bye. Bye. Are you going to take accountability for being trash or not? No? Okay, let's move on. Because you know why? I didn't forget how you gaslit Salvador and tried to flip it on him. But when he was upset about that whole conversation, he was right the whole time. But then you gaslit him and made him apologize to you when you was the one who was actually in the wrong. And I wish somebody would have called her out about that. This reunion was so frustrating. When it comes to Salvador and Mallory, they did not have a connection, okay? They didn't really have a connection since the honeymoon. But she was going through the motions. She said she wanted to try. I do believe her to a certain extent when she said that she wanted to try something new, because she always goes for the same type of man, most likely a black one. And she wanted to try something new. I believe that. But I also never saw any chemistry when it came to them. When they tried to get down to the nitty gritty of what really happened with them, they didn't want to say, like, oh, these hosts didn't press them or anything. Well, I'm not going to say what happened. Why did you even bring it up? How come nobody brought up your friends with benefits that you led on before you came to this experiment? How come nobody checked him on that? Because I don't feel like Salvador is completely innocent in this situation either. He just is when it comes to how Mallory was acting with Jared. Something tells me whatever happened between them that he didn't want to say, it was going to make him look bad too. That's why he didn't say it. Because I feel like whatever he had to say about her, she would have something to say about him too. And so they just made a pact not to say anything on the reunion, because he gave me sneaky vibes. Shake said what it really was. That conversation that she had with Jared, and the fact that you had that friends with benefits situation, it set the stage for lack of trust between y'all. And that's the reason why y'all not together now. He was dead on with that. I ain't gonna lie. And then when Shake spoke up, here comes Jared. Here comes Jared. He had to stand up for Mallory. You think I didn't catch that, Jared? How come you want to all of a sudden stand up to Shake when he calls out Mallory? He didn't talk crazy to everybody else in this room, but as soon as he said something about Mallory, that's when you want to pipe up. Yes, he's fake and shallow, but he was telling the truth about that. And I recall when watching back the tape, Jared, when Shake was kiki and cackling about not being attracted to Deep T and how she looked or whatever, you was over there kiki and cackling with him too. So you might want to sit back and relax, because you are low-key just as fake as he is. He's a PK, so he knows how to conduct himself, but that doesn't make you any better than Shake. So as far as Jared and Ayanna's relationship, their relationship still comes off as platonic. Like, I really don't see any like romantic chemistry between those two. It's stale, it's sterile, it just doesn't feel natural. It feels like they're putting on this united front. It's us against everybody's. Like, they're studying on their haters. They're gonna do everything they can to prove the haters wrong, like I said in my last review, when in actuality, are you really happy? I just don't think he really wants to be with Ayanna. She was his second choice. I mean, he literally bawled his eyes out over Mallory. One thing the host did badger Ayanna about that I didn't appreciate is asking her whether they were intimate before they got married, and she eventually said that they were like on the island. And it's like, you didn't press anybody else like that. Why did you press Ayanna for that information? That was so uncalled for. I didn't like that. But it did kind of reveal to me why she was so attached to Jared, because I didn't understand why she was so attached to him otherwise. He wasn't giving her no good reason to be. Anyway, y'all, that's all I had to say about the show. Y'all let me know how y'all feel down below. I did not expect for this. I thought I was going to get in and out with this review, but I had a lot of frustration to let out also. So I kind of used this video to do that. Y'all let me know how y'all felt down below. Did you agree with me? Did you not agree with me? I would love to hear your opinion. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.